What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look and listen to Representative Graves. He's going to be talking about the Social Security Fairness Act. This is going through Congress right now. They're trying to pass this. And so in essence, what this would do is it would eliminate weapon GPO. So people who have worked and earned a pension, they would now qualify for their full Social Security benefits. Right now, you're getting a reduction of your benefits because you have a pension, as well as if you've earned a pension and let's say you never paid into Social Security, but your spouse did pay into Social Security, you would now be eligible for your full spousal benefits because you can get a reduced spousal benefit if you have a pension. And so they're trying to eliminate that. They're trying to eliminate weapon GPO. The reason why these provisions are in place right now is to kind of offset things, because if you're receiving a pension, you shouldn't be able to get your full Social Security benefits. At least that's the argument there. And they're saying because you're getting a pension, let's say you get $4,000 pension, you shouldn't be able to get your full amount of Social Security benefits because the way that Social Security does their calculations, if they're not counting the pension, then you would get a little bit more, and so you shouldn't. I mean, it's very confusing, and I agree they should just go ahead and eliminate it. But I want to hear what Representative Graves has to say about this, so that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, and if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so let's go ahead and hear what Representative Graves has to say about the Social Security Fairness Act. Here we go.
Anna is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank Chairman Smith for the time. Mr. Speaker, I've listened to this debate and heard so many things that are simply misunderstandings or maybe just intentionally telling things that aren't true. My mom used to say when I was growing up, she would ask me, is it going to take an act of Congress for you to clean your room? She would say it all the time. Is it going to take an act of Congress for you to clean your room? And I don't know what she meant because I thought my room was pretty clean. But what she meant is that is it going to take the earth, wind, and stars all moving, mountains moving in order for you to act? Mr. Speaker, this has been 40 years. This has been 40 years of treating people differently, discriminating against a certain set of workers. These are police officers, these are teachers, these are firefighters and other public servants. Mr. Speaker, I worked side by side with these folks. They're not people that are overpaid. They're not people that are underworked. Police officers, think about the crime issue, the defund police issue, the safety of our communities. They are integral to our state. They're integral to our nation. We need to treat them fairly, respectfully, and that means by not treating them differently, discriminating against them and their benefits. Teachers, they're the ones who train the next generation. Firefighters, who are you going to call when your house is on fire? And these are the very people whose benefits we're cutting. Mr. Speaker, I've heard people sit here and say the solvency of the Social Security Trust Fund is gonna move forward 6 months with this bill. Mr. Speaker, the solvency has been delayed years because you've stolen from these people. Do you not understand math? This number right here, the Congressional Budget Office, $195 billion, you know what that number is? That's the number that you're going to be stealing from these same public servants over the next 10 years if you don't fix this. So we can sit here and we can talk about all these numbers and math. Here's the reality. You have stolen somewhere probably between $600 and $700 billion in Social Security benefits from police officers, teachers, firefighters, and other public servants. If you don't pass this, the Congressional Budget Office says you're going to steal another $195 billion. You know, an interesting nugget that was in the Congressional Budget Office's evaluation is they also said, if you actually pass this law, you're going to save money on your social welfare programs because you're going to lift people out of poverty and they'll no longer be dependent upon our social welfare programs. Mr. Speaker, we can't keep doing this. I heard people talking about penalizing people and taxes and all that stuff. Let me tell you what's happening. There is a group of people right now that effectively are paying a higher tax than anyone else. That's what's happening. And it is the reason why the Social Security Trust Fund is going to remain solvent for years longer. It's unfair, it's unjust, and I'm going to say it again. This is a community of people that cannot afford this. This is a community of people that are some of the hardest working folks in our community, and they have been stolen from for 40 years. Very simply, Mr. Speaker, here's the scenario. Let's say that Chairman Smith and I were both security guards. We got paid the same amount of money over the same period of time. After 20 years, I say I'm out, and I go back and I help to raise family. Mr. Smith goes on, Chairman Smith goes on to become a sheriff's deputy, and he does it for 10 years. When he retires, when we retire on the same exact date, my Social Security benefits may be $1,500, $1,800 more. Why? Why? We paid the same amount, same period of time into the Social Security Trust Fund. Mr. Speaker, look, there are folks that have tried to throw up other legislation and say that these other alternatives are the right way to go. Mr. Speaker, there is one bill in this Congress that has a majority of Republicans and a majority of Democrats. I don't know the number right now. I know recently it was the most co-sponsored bill in all of Congress with over 12,000 bills introduced. The most co-sponsored bill. And you know what? We didn't go through the regular committee process. I do want to thank Chairman Smith for working with us. But you know what we did? We had a hearing in Louisiana. We had a hearing in Washington, D.C. We negotiated for months trying to get there, and we couldn't. But there's one package that has the support of the majority of Republicans, the majority of Democrats, and will fix this once and for all. How in the world we're trying to beat up on the bill that is the most co-sponsored bill in Congress? My friend Mr. Larson was talking about the divisiveness, the polarization. My gosh, we have finally come together on something. Let's pass this bill. Let's show America that we can do what's right and what's just. And let's make sure this bill gets through the Senate, gets to the president's desk, and it doesn't take another 40 years to do what's right. Yield back.
Okay, so that was Representative Graves talking about the Social Security Fairness Act. Now, this is a bipartisan bill. That's what's crazy about it. You have Democrats and Republicans, the majority of Democrats and majority of Republicans, they agree with this. We need to eliminate weapon GPO. Now, he gave that example, and I want to go over that just to kind of really drive this home. So he's talking about if he was working for 20 years and he had a partner that was working for 20 years in security and they were paying into Social Security, and then he leaves. So he leaves that 20-year career and he retires at that point, I guess, or just stops working. And his friend actually continues to work. So he gets a job working for, as a deputy. And as a deputy, he probably will be receiving some type of a pension. I can't remember what time frame he was a deputy, but let's just say he worked 20 more years. So he works 20 more years, and then he gets to that point where he's ready to retire. And they're both going to start collecting Social Security benefits. They're at that age. Let's say they're 67. Well, Representative Graves, his Social Security check will be larger than his friend's, because his friend will be collecting a pension and collecting Social Security. And because he's collecting the two, they will reduce his Social Security benefits. That doesn't sound fair. And the way that I look at it, you should be able to receive your full Social Security benefits. It shouldn't matter that you went and had another job and you were earning a pension. That shouldn't matter. If you pay into Social Security, you should get your full amount back. You should not be looking at some of the other factors that are involved. What if you were someone who invested in the stock market really heavily and now you have a windfall of money that's sitting in your bank account? Is the Social Security Administration to look, are they going to have to look into your bank account and say, well, you know what, we know you paid into Social Security, but you have a lot of money, so we're not going to give you the full amount. That's not right. And it shouldn't be right in a situation where you work, especially if you're working as a first responder, you're earning a pension, you're a teacher, you're a firefighter. It should not matter that you have a pension. That should not be what they're looking at. They should be just looking at how much money did you contribute to Social Security and then basing your benefits on that alone. So I want to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.